Hello and welcome everybody to Legion's Ladies Live. We have the ladies with us. Hello, Amber.
Hello.
And hello, Stacey.
Hello.
We are so excited and have such a great episode ready. And I believe this is one of the episodes where we have had the most people watching that I have seen in a while.
Make sure you subscribe.
That's right. If you are not subscribed, you know that we're trying to build our subscribers. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and notifications so you get notified whenever we do go live and have a lot of fun like what we're going to have today. Amber, do you want to say hello to a bunch of people that we have in the chat today?
But I did have to score pretty high today.
Yes.
We have Kirby in here at 5 o'clock.
Wow. Hey, Kirby.
He was ready for it.
He was.
We have V-Dog, Dave Orkin, Blake, and Cloud. Sorry, my voice got funny. We have Ray PGG. My mouse is as backwards as my screen thingy is.
Although no.
Right. We have Brett and Jackie, Dub, Articulated Times, Darla Ackerman, Brian Carr, Twizzler 19. Oh god, I scrolled so high. Jeff Evans, Rocco the Great, Rick Emmert, Kevin Sharp, Kirby H, Jeremy G, and Chris Johnson, Nate Strong. This is a list, my friends.
I know.
I love it. Kevin McCoy.
Hi, honey.
Omar Munez. We've got Andy the Collector.
It's my birthday twin.
Herb B. Jesse Marshall. Collier. Jesse. G. James. Hayes EHL. M. Collier. Freaks Figures. Rob Zamora. William. Eric. Wait, hold on. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Eric. Stacy Marshall. Minnie Pete. Sig. I am TJ Williams. Mythic Madams. We got a $4.99 super chat from Kevin Boots. Good evening, ladies of the Legions.
Oh, thank you, Kevin.
Thank you. We have Kilroy and Jordan. Texas 1911. Review Things. And Eric Miller.
All right. We have a
Hold on.
group full. Welcome, everybody, to Legion's Ladies Live tonight. Tonight, we are focusing on the RPG. We have Jeremy here, and if you were watching last night, Jeremy announced that we will be reviewing or revealing a new figure tonight. So I don't know about you guys, but I am super excited about that tonight. Yeah, can't wait. We also have graciously been offered, and I don't have it to pull up, but we do have a staff from Carver Customs that we are going to give away tonight. So we will talk about that during the news. And yeah, so we have a staff to give away. We have a full reveal tonight. And we have some great friends that we are going to bring onto the stage right now before we start the news. First up is, and everybody knows, and thank you, Jeremy, for joining us. We are so excited to have you here with us.
I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me once again. I always love coming on Legions Ladies.
Well, we love having you. And we are especially excited tonight because you left a little hint that we were going to be revealing something tonight. So all of us are just anticipating, and at the same time, we have a lot to talk about before we get to that. So let's also bring on our good friend, Ashlynne Colton. Hello, Ashlynne.
Hi.
So excited to have you here, as well as Joe Gonsalves. How are you doing,
Hello, everyone.
Joe?
Here, I was thinking that everybody was here to see me, but yeah, it's probably the figure reveal. So,
Joe, trust me when I say that everybody's here to see you.
okay, I'll take it.
Because they know that there is not one person in the whole community that is nicer than you are, Joe.
Well, I don't know about that, but I've heard that my mustache is popular. So, yeah.
Well, it is. It is.
So if people come to see my mustache, then I'll accept that. So.
Okay. All right. The first thing that we like to do when we start our show is, of course, go back a little bit and talk about the news. With Jeremy being here, the news is going to be most informative today because normally we just kind of scroll through it real quick and make sure everybody knows all the things that are coming up. But any questions that you guys have in the comments for the news that we are going to share, Jeremy is here and will answer those questions.
We'll do my best.
Amber, can you bring up the Instagram of the Four Horsemen? Because that's where we usually go back to and get some news.
Here we are.
Yes. All right.
Playing game.
So let's go back to the let's go down a little bit. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, let's start with Archon the Cruel real quick. So, Jeremy, Archon was revealed during the G-Con at Legions Con this past year.
Yep.
And he is up for pre-order right now.
He is.
When does that pre-order go off?
The 22nd. So February 22nd, which is not this coming Sunday, the Sunday after. That is when, as usual, 11 p.m. Eastern time, that's when the direct pre-order will end. He will be available along with Oksana through retailers, but at the normal prices. So this particular figure is going to be $99.99 at normal retail, and that includes in the future when we have them at shows and so forth, the $75 price that he's available during the pre-order is only until the 22nd.
Gotcha. Okay, and then bring up Oksana because that would be the next one that we want to talk about because she is, again, amazing. Again, Oksana. Now, one of the things that I really loved about Oksana, again, the same pre-order window, the same everything applies to her as him. If you get it while it's from the pre-order, then you will get, sorry, I just saw Jordan's message on here, chat, and I stopped to say he'd mentioned what? We didn't talk about that.
They're trying to bait me. They're trying to bait me into saying something.
So all thoughts left my head. I'm like, we haven't talked about that. Jordan, you sneaky. Anyway, the same thing, and it's Oksana the Inquisitor now, I think you mentioned last night. Is that right?
It
Okay.
is. Joe actually emailed me yesterday morning and said, "Hey, I've often referred to her as Oksana the Inquisitor. We didn't put that in the original listing. What do you think? Because we've got Archon the Cruel. If we kind of give her a title as well." And it's your character, man. Whatever you want to do, totally cool with that. It adds a layer of kind of explanation to the character, because that's one of the things here. I know that when I posted kind of the backstory on these two characters, I saw a number of people comment that they were like, "Oh, now I'm actually more interested in this. That's pretty cool." So, giving her a little more background, a little more depth as a character in her role, I think that nothing but good things can come from that. So that is her new title, Oksana the Inquisitor.
That's awesome. And it is very, very cool that you guys, and again, I believe that maybe Curtis said, being the amazing marketing director that you are, had these characters come out right before the RPG starts, which is awesome, because that means that, more people are getting eyes on the RPG before it goes in. I mean, it's just, there's so much goodness, and these figures are amazing. Now,
they're very cool.
Seeing the figures side by side with other characters from the Mythic Legions line, and she is a little bit taller, and I know that it's 104%, 104%, for the size that you guys printed out, but her actual top legs are longer. Is that correct?
They are.
Okay.
So she's got, like, her lower legs and her arms are the same ones from Bastet. That was the build that Eric started with here, was Bastet. So even the upper legs, he really started with the Bastet upper legs. And the original mock-up that we showed Joe, she just had the Bastet legs, and he asked for her to be a little bit taller. So that's what Eric started with, and he just extended those legs a little bit. So she does stand a little bit taller. That is by design. One of the things that people have to remember with these characters is we are not just doing legions like we normally do, where it's whatever we want to do. It's completely up to us. We're working with a partner here who created these characters, who wants them to have a certain presence and a certain look. So there's requests that they make that are very logical requests that we're happy to be able to do. So she is a little bit bigger than your standard 2.0.
Great. And the other thing that I remember you guys saying when you introduced her is the top part of her torso, the necklace is actually sculpted in.
It is. Eric wanted to do it as a separate piece. Anytime it's a separate piece, it gives us more versatility. It was just too fine a piece. Like, for it to be separate, it would have had to been sculpted much thicker, and it just wouldn't have had the same look that we wanted to go with here. So he made the decision to just make it part of the sculpture so we could get the ultimate look that we wanted. And it's a process of, you've got to consider the versatility and the parts use in library versus the final look of the figure. There are a few lines that parts versatility are more important than legions, but the final look of the figure is absolutely paramount when it comes to these things. So that's why that decision was made.
Yeah. Well, she's wonderful. I know that I, for one, cannot wait to get her in hand. It's a great figure, and just gorgeous. All right. What else do we have, Amber? What's next?
It's been a lot of Archon and Exana. The news has been largely dominated by the Archon pre-order, arriving waves, and of course the RPG.
Right. Let's see that. Yeah. So this is the elf.
Rogue.
Yep.
Yes. So you guys have shown the elf. Have you guys shown any like add-on pieces, like with the cleric and the paladin? You've shown the add-ons.
Yes.
Have you done any add-ons with this one as of yet?
We've done them. We haven't shown them though.
Haven't shown them yet. Okay, that's what I was. Yeah, that's where I was going.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So we haven't seen any of the add-ons for this one.
No. So all of these figures, this is the base player figure. So
right.
This, in the game, this will be a $29. Well, during the Kickstarter, this will be $29.99. It'll be a little bit more expensive at retail after the Kickstarter. The goal with these is that very low price, that very low barrier to entry to get you that base figure. And then every one of the base figures is going to have a corresponding character pack. If you know Legions, obviously you can use these pieces with lots of different figures, but they were very much designed to go hand in hand. So it was an interesting process designing these because, normally Legions figures, we just load them with weapons and extra heads and soft goods and everything that we can imagine sticking in there. So right in that package, you've got a lot of different look variations. For the game, we almost deconstructed it and we kind of said, okay, here's the base figure. What parts would we put in that package if it was a standard Mythic Legions? Let's design a character pack to totally change what we call professions. In a lot of like in Dungeons and Dragons, they call it class. So a rogue or a wizard, a paladin, a cleric, those are all classes. We call them professions. So the character pack's going to allow you to change the profession of the character, and in some cases, the what we call the species, which Dungeons and Dragons calls race. We're going with species on that. So that was an interesting process, is figuring out how can we create these add-on packs that very much pair with those base figures. So if you get them both, you can very much change up all the aspects of this character to make a different player character for the game.
It's fantastic. Okay, and then you have introduced the cleric, which will have Amber, do you want to go out? I think the cleric and paladin. Yeah, you've introduced the cleric, and it will have the paladin character pack that kind of goes with it.
Yeah, so this one we debuted at Legions Con last year. This builds off of what we did at San Diego with that deluxe heroic paladin cleric. That combination of, one being a base figure, in this case, the cleric being the base figure, and then the character pack being a paladin, we knew we were going to do that. We wanted to do this base player version. One of the first things we had to do was get rid of the soft goods, because soft goods are very, very expensive. So to be able to hit this price point, we had to rethink that. So this particular figure, that torso, that waist piece, and that loin are all newly sculpted parts. And I know when we showed it off at Legions Con, people couldn't believe that those weren't soft goods. They look so good because, unlike the tunic from Wave 1 that was, very flat, this has so much texture in it that it really picks up the light, and it reads like soft goods, but those are all fully sculpted pieces. So the cleric that you're seeing here with the mace and the spell book, he'll be the $29.99 figure. And then the Paladin parts, that character pack will be $14.99. That will allow you to switch this up into the Paladin. And I should point out that the Paladin pack actually has a newly sculpted faceplate in it that's debuting in that release.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. All right. Amber, you want to go out and see? I think we have the...
That's so fast.
Oh.
There we go. Hold on, which way's my mouth?
Oh, yeah. The Rising Suns has arrived and started shipping. Now, Jeremy, you said that all of the regular characters are the ones that are shipping. You don't have Bodvar, Umbra, and
Rigarion.
Oh,
Yeah,
what's-
Rigarion.
yeah.
Yep.
But all the rest of them you have, and they're
Yeah,
shipping.
so this is coming in 4 different containers. The first container, the one that has arrived, it doesn't have actually all it's got all of the standard figures in it, but not the entire inventory we're going to be receiving. So more of those are coming on subsequent containers, but the first container only had those characters on it.
Right.
It didn't have any of the deluxe ones because that comes from a separate factory, and it didn't have any of the all-ins. So the containers with the all-ins, those are the ones that are held up in customs right now. And then the one with the deluxes and a lot more of the standards, those are on the way. Again, all of these containers left China within like a week or 2 of each other. It was just one after another. So they should all be arriving in a similar time span as well.
Gotcha. Yeah, we're waiting on the all-in, and seeing everybody posting pictures of the ones that they've received today was so exciting. I mean, it's so amazing to see all of the photos coming through.
Well, I'll tell you, I don't even have these yet. So we've gotten in such a limited amount that the employees haven't even taken ours yet. We have said, no, this first batch, every single thing from this first batch that arrived is going to go out to pre-order customers. We are not going to touch ours until after the other containers arrive and we know we have the inventory to fill all of these orders. So I didn't even pull the marketing card. I didn't even say, hey guys, I'm going on Legions Ladies and we're going to talk about this. And I need some to have in hand to talk about marketing. I didn't even do that. That's how committed we are to getting the pre-order customers theirs first.
Well, as a huge fan and frequent customer, even though I'm not getting mine, I am excited to see them out in the hands of the collectors, and I mean, they're beautiful. I can't wait to get mine in hand, but man, I'm loving the Cabal feed with all of these in it.
It's an exciting time. Whenever a wave like this arrives, it's an exciting time to see everyone getting them in. And we'll see the same thing, starting next week with the retailer wave once those arrive. I mean, I love this time. It's so much goes into getting these produced that this is the payoff when people finally get them in and do their reviews and take their photos and make their posts. This is why we do it.
Yep. Now, Amber, if you want to go out, I believe you introduced the box as well.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. This artwork is gorgeous.
I actually had a call with Max today to talk about some work, some projects and stuff, and was telling him how well received this artwork has been in our fan community so far. I mean, he absolutely killed this art. It looks so cool. And I mean, the minute that we put it into this layout and wrapped it around the edges and slapped the logo on, It's funny, when Eric saw this, he said it feels real, which is still a weird comment, because it's like, Eric, we make real stuff all the time. Like, there's a lot of real stuff. But there's still that sense of wonder, like when this stuff gets done, that so much work goes into it, that we see it like this. And like, this is the point where we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. And we're like, oh my goodness, all this effort that we've put into it, this is going to be an actual product pretty soon. People are going to be able to hold this and play with this. So we get just as excited to see this stuff as the fans do. And I absolutely love it. Seeing this layout, seeing the way that everything is coming together is very exciting.
So,
This totally looks like something you would see on the shelf in a hobby store. Like,
I do.
it just, it fits.
That makes me so happy to hear, because I felt the same thing. That,
Right.
I mean, immediately that's what I felt like. It's,
Yeah.
I've said before, the audience that we're talking to tonight, they know Four Horsemen Studios, they know Legions and everything, but this is going to be in front of a lot of people who don't know who we are, and looking the part is very important. And when this laid out, I was proud and excited to be able to bring this to that gaming community, to show them, what we are putting together. I feel like this presents really well, and it definitely looks, to your point, Joe, that it looks like it's a product that belongs on those store shelves.
Yeah, it's a habit to say, because I've been playing D&D, but I've been playing a lot of different role-playing games, over the course of my time playing games. And when I'm in hobby stores, I browse, and I look at the different products and what things, what jumps out at me. And this is something that not only looks like it fits in, but I go, oh, that's interesting. It's got that hook on there, and the beginner boxes. I don't know how many people have told me that they even, back in the 80s had the D&D starter set.
Yeah.
The red box with the dragon on the cover, and never even played the game. They were just like, wow, that looks so cool,
Yep.
So I get that vibe totally from this.
Well, as somebody who's never played D&D, I'm super excited to see what this is all about.
Yeah, one of the things we've been saying about the beginner box is I really think it's going to be a perfect product for two different categories. It says beginner, but that's because it's not only if you are a beginner when it comes to RPGs, it's because this is a great place to start regardless of your experience with RPGs. Tonya, for someone like yourself that may not be like really familiar with tabletop role-playing games, it can seem daunting to actually get involved. And because when people explain it, it can seem like that's really confusing. That's what this is built to kind of bridge that gap, where instead of saying like, hey, here's a 300-page rule book, I know that when I open up like a new board game, if there's more than like one panel of rules, I'm like, this is too complicated. I don't have time to figure it out. 300 pages of rules, this is meant to get you up and running in a much easier fashion. And it's got everything you need to play the game in this one box. And that's the other side of it, is even if you're a seasoned gamer and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this game, instead of investing in all these different items, let me get this one thing, give it a shot. This is going to come with a pared down version of the rules, and it's going to come with an adventure book. And the adventure book is meant for you to have probably a couple different game sessions that you can play through that adventure, so you can get your feet wet in the realm of Mythos and with this game, and determine if you actually enjoy it and you want to go deeper and get the full rule book and some of the other items to continue your adventures in Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. So we put a graphic together that I can't share yet, but it expands this box and it shows all the goodies inside of it. And seeing that was super cool too, because Joe, to your point, I can see people just wanting it because it's a bunch of cool Mythic Legion stuff in that box.
Oh yeah, and even if you're experienced with 5th edition D&D, this is something that you can jump in and play right away while you're reading the 300-page rule book to learn all the new rules. So, it's like a quick reference that you can jump right in and play the game right away. I know I'm looking forward to doing that.
Yep.
It's going to be awesome. I can't wait. And then one of the last news from the Four Horsemen is you guys have announced the street date before, but things are being sent out. And I know that the actual retailers are getting these. You went through them last night. So if you didn't see Jeremy's show last night, he went through all of these and showed them off. Oh my gosh, Jeremy, they are so awesome.
Yeah, they're really cool. The ones I opened 4 of them last night, and every single one of them I actually enjoyed more than I expected I was going to. Both of the figuras I really, really liked. I've got them both on display alongside the original versions of the figuras. I think that they work really great. And then the Mythic Legions and the Cosmic Legions, 2 brand new characters that add, I think, a new kind of look to your shelves there, especially that Quaddle Druid. It's just such a distinctive and colorful figure with those greens and oranges. Looks absolutely awesome. I put him right on the front of a shelf.
Yeah. He really stands out. And this guy here, the other, him. I mean, that red is gorgeous. I mean, seeing it in your hands and actually being able to see how bright and vibrant that red is and how gorgeous that set is. I mean, it's gorgeous. It is so nice.
I've said before, Tanya, that the PowerCon debut figures are not my favorites.
Right.
But I love them in Cosmic. Like, what I don't care, the things about them that make me not care for them as much in Mythic makes me love them in Cosmic. Those bold, bright, flat colors look out of place in Mythos, but they look really, really cool and fun to me in Cosmerium. So this is another one of those Cosmic Legions PowerCon debut figures that I'm so excited for. This one might be my favorite of the PowerCon debut figures. And I'm not just saying that because it's the one that I designed. I actually think this one Eric Miller killed it on the paints on this one. There's so many display options and there's recency bias. All of those things together, I'm saying this is my favorite.
Yeah, and I really like this one. I think that you guys have done a lot of great Cosmic figures, but I think the paint apps on this one, I'm gonna have to just step out there and say this is probably going to be one of my favorite ones. I just love this. I think it is really, really nice, and it is going to look so good on a shelf.
For sure.
All right. So if you haven't seen Jeremy's show from last night, please go watch Jeremy's show because it was really cool. You got to see everything. He had everything out, was showing how it all goes together, what they look like side by side. And then today you posted some photos of some of the figuras side by side with, I know, some other characters that people were asking you about last night.
What I posted today was actually because the Ghost of Christmas Past, she's got 4 different face portraits and 3 different hair pieces. So once you use one portrait and one hair piece, you're going to end up with 2 extra full heads that you can use. So I threw one of those heads because, you look at it and it looks like a specter. but that blue skin and blue hair can also read like an alien. So I threw it on a Callie and Shun figure. I threw it on a Zeri figure and kind of showed them as some cool, like, you know, Cosmic Legions ladies. So that was kind of fun.
That was fun. Yeah, they were great. Okay, really quick, because we're going to go ahead and get this started.
Cool.
We have a giveaway tonight. Brian Lynn from Carver Customs and Stacey Lynn from Carver Custom has graciously agreed to give away a staff tonight on our stream. So
very appropriate.
If you have
Yeah, that's what it's
I like
thinking.
it when a teaser comes together. Amber, if you have that pulled up, we can
I hit the invite button. Hang tight. CarverCon 2026.
hashtag CarverCon 2026.
And while that's up, it's a good segue to say that CarverCon tickets are now available. And the hotel is, the room blocks are up for that as well. So if you want to hang out with us in July, we would love to see everyone. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun, and we cannot wait. And yeah. And Stacey, real quick, you guys are going to be at MuskeCon in March as well, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So Carver will be at MuskeCon in March, and then CarverCon is in July 11th.
Yep.
So make sure that you guys get your tickets and get your rooms for that. All right. Jeremy?
Yeah.
I was going through when I decided and we were talking about doing a show for the RPG, which I'm so excited. I know nothing. I am very, very much a toddler in a big, big, big group of people that know a lot more than I do. I was looking back and I saw something.
Okay. Yep.
Were you guys actually playing the new game? Like talking through and playing the new game here?
No, we were not. So,
okay.
but this was during the early development of the game. This was actually Cameron, because so many people in the studio had never played a role-playing game. So at that table, you can see Diego, Bill, Joe, Eric, myself, and Cameron. Cameron was the game master. Only Diego and myself had ever played a role-playing game before. So this was us after hours hanging at the studio, just kind of talking through and actually playing a game. So people that were going to be working on this game in one fashion or another had a sense of what the heck we were talking about. So we weren't actually playing Mythic Legions, the role-playing game, but this was very early on in development of the game itself.
That is awesome. So I remember you'd posted that, and as I was going back through and kind of, getting my bearings on the role-playing game and kind of when it came about, and this picture popped up, I was like, are they playing it there? Are they like getting their feet wet with it there? This is what you guys announced at G-Con, right?
It is. Yep.
Okay. All
and
right.
that was just, that was a placeholder. Like
right.
I threw that cover design together using one of Trevor's photos just so we could have something. There is actually a Dungeons and Dragons book. I think it's a player handbook underneath that cover that we just printed up to like have a mock-up to show for the actual presentation. And then those minis are ones that we had done. We had them out at a show because we've been talking about the possibility of doing this for quite a few years. So we had different assets here and there, but that Legions Con was the first time that we kind of brought it all together in the format to present to the audience.
So when you guys, it was 2025, so it was 2024, right? When you guys first announced that this was coming.
Yep.
When you guys first announced that this was coming in November of 2024, like how far along in the process were you? I mean, was it just getting started? You guys had a little bit of knowledge, kind of, where were we in the process back then?
We were far along for the first version of the game, but what we are releasing now is not the first version of the game. So there was a point that we were kind of going down one path. And one of the things that we debated right up front was, how do the figures factor into the game? Like, this is a game, this line, Mythic Legions, it started as these 7-inch action figures. 7-inch action figures are not typically used in tabletop role-playing games. They typically use little, 1-inch minis. So that was a question up front, and there were different opinions on how the figures may be used. So we kind of developed an idea with the game, and figures didn't have a real meaningful part of gameplay. And then when we started bringing it out, because we did do a number of shows last year, not as exhibitors, but as attendees. And at a lot of these gaming shows, they have nights where they'll open up a room where people will just set up different displays and prototypes and games and stuff and talk about what they're thinking about and what they're building. And every time we did that, people would look at the game and they'd be like, oh, this looks cool, until they saw the figures. And then they'd go, what the hell are these? And they freak out and they'd be like, can I use these in the game? And we had conversations with respected members of, the gaming community that said, dude, your toys are your differentiator. They're awesome. So we went back and we didn't, restart development, but we really said, hey, the writing's on the wall. We need to make the toys, we need to make the figures a more meaningful part of this game, not just an ancillary item. Because for so many other products, they're ancillary items. They're like, oh, it's action figures of the characters from the game, but they're not connected to gameplay. So when we first pitched it at Legions Con in 2024, we expected that we were going to do a Kickstarter for it kind of early to mid 2025. And then between the feedback we got about the figures, between some other changes we decided to make, and between the Beathir campaign, all of those things made us say, you know what? We're not ready to go live with this yet. We want to make some changes. So we retooled a lot of the stuff we had in mind leading us into Legions Con last year, 2025. What we were presenting at Legions Con 2025 was materially a different game than what we were presenting in 2024. And that's where we are now.
Gotcha. So a lot has happened in basically the year and a half since this was talked about originally and come up for pre-order, which we know it's going to be Kickstarter the end of February. You guys going to the gaming show that you guys did this past January, and setting up for the first time at a gaming show, how did that go over? How did people respond? How did all of that? Because it was really the first time that you guys had I mean, set up like at a gaming show, right?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't a big show, so it was a small show, in general. It was also a fairly snowy weekend in Pennsylvania. But the people that were there, they were blown away by what we were presenting, but they also had never heard of us. And, that's one of the things I've talked about that's interesting is we do toy shows. And in the toy communities, even if you don't have a Mythic Legions figure, most toy fans know the name Four Horsemen Studios. You would be hard pressed to find an action figure collector that doesn't have a product on their shelves that the studio didn't have some hand in creating, whether it's through the relationship with Mattel or NECA or Super 7 or Hasbro. You can go down the list. In the world of action figures, Four Horsemen Studios is well known. In tabletop role-playing games, not so much. So there were a lot of people that were looking at these products and they were like, I've never heard of you. And when they found out that we're in New Jersey, just a few hours away, there was definitely that sense of surprise there. So the reaction was great. I mean, people, it is interesting because at that show, we didn't have the game to actually sell. We were there kind of promoting the upcoming game. So we were very much there with action figures. And as expected, it's like when you go to a toy show and there's someone there who's not selling toys. As cool as it may be, you just may not be there looking to buy that thing. So the reaction was really, really great. But what it certainly showed us is we've got a lot of work to do in the gaming communities to spread the word on who we are and help establish, our pedigree as a company.
Gotcha. You guys at Legions Con 2024, Legions Con 2025, you guys had breakout sessions at both of those for people to sit in and actually play the game.
Yep.
I know that being behind a table, I did not get to see those, but people could come in and watch and kind of see what it was all about and actually see it being played the way that it was supposed to be played. How did that, I guess, go over? What reaction did you get from those?
Yeah, it was great. It's the people that played seemed to really enjoy it. I know in addition to kind of the open sessions, both in 2024 and again in 2025, we had what we called kind of like a celebrity session where it was like Pete McCarthy played, Big Dub played, my son Jacob played both years. That one had more of an audience watching because of the players who were involved. But everyone who experienced it seemed to really, really enjoy it. The challenge of Legions Con, as you know, is there's so much to do and there's only so much time. So unlike gaming conventions where sitting down for a few hours and playing a game is par for the course, it's part of what you're there to do. At Legions Con, the idea of being behind a table for 2 hours plus means you're not on the floor, you're not in the lines, you're not buying toys and stuff. So the people that did decide to do that, there's a give and take, there's a sacrifice. So it wasn't, and it's also on the third floor, which is kind of outside of the action. So the people that experienced it seemed to really, really love it. We were happy to offer it. But again, it is one of those things where there's only so many hours in the day. So not everybody's going to be able to make the time to go up there and do it.
Right.
I actually ran one of those sessions for the Legion's Quest group, and it was amazing getting to play in person. And we got a little peek at one of the new systems. I don't know, Jeremy,
You can talk about it. Yep. The Mythic Encounter.
Yep. So I actually I have some of the maps. Cameron let me keep them. So here you can see this is a standard grid here in the back. This is what miniatures are on. So we started with this with the miniatures, and then when we got to the boss fight, it moves to the Mythic Encounter. These squares are scaled to the Mythic Legion's figures. So there was an ogre and some orcs that were a part of this battle, and we actually got to play out the boss fight as a Mythic Encounter with, everyone had created their character for my group as a figure. They had done a custom, and we got to use their actual player characters against Mythic Legion's enemies at full scale, and it was freaking amazing. Like, really enjoyed that. So sorry. So this is a really cool feature of the game that I can't wait to play around with. And I've been armory building for years, preparing for this, and I didn't even know it. So,
But I think what Joe's talking about there is worth pointing out, because we haven't spoken about that very much. I mentioned the figures having a role in gameplay, and that's kind of what it is, where if you've ever seen a tabletop game being played, that map that Joe showed that had the little 1-inch squares, each one of those squares represents like 5 feet. So you can look at that and you can figure out how far it is from, one side of this dungeon to the other side of this dungeon. And your character can only move so far each turn. And that's kind of how gameplay goes. These little miniatures that are on the map in front of you, they're representations of your character. But miniatures are pre-posed. They're going to look one way. The idea that we had is it's going to be unwieldy to try and play an entire game with 7-inch action figures. So we came up with this idea called the Mythic Encounter, that it's kind of like a boss battle. And I should also point out that using miniatures, using figures, all of this, it's optional. You can play what they call theater of the mind. If you just want to do it in your head and just kind of talk through the adventure like someone's reading you a story and you're responding to the different situations, you can do that. Playing with the minis and the figures is an optional enhancement for the game. So imagine that you're in this dungeon and you're going through and you're doing all this, and you come to a locked door, and you're the rogue who's a member of your team. That elf rogue picks that lock. You open it up, you come in, and behind that door is Kurzon. An ogre is behind that door. Now, this is the point where that little 1-inch grid map changes to the bigger map, where now those grids, each one of those boxes is still 5 feet, but instead of being 1 inch, it's 4 inches, which allows you to put an action figure right there. And now, instead of a pre-posed mini, you get an action figure. If you're going to cast a spell, pose your figure casting a spell. If you've got a hammer and you're going to land a blow, you can pose your figure. I mean, that map in front of you comes alive like never before by posing these figures. And then, of course, we know that because these are legions, as your character, I mean, part of playing a game like this is you want your character to get cooler. You want to find cool stuff. You want to level up. You want to get more powerful. Well, with Legions figures, when you get more armor or additional weapons or stuff like that, just upgrade your figure, customize your figure. Instead of having a mini that all you can really do is buy a different mini and paint it up or whatever, you can just keep evolving that character. So that's how the figures are going to actually be used, where you can have them right on there, you can pose it, and you can really see a representation of the battle you're having play out right in front of you on the game table.
And what was interesting for mine, because it's a turn-based game, so one player goes at a time, as everyone takes their turns in an initiative order. You can't stop people from playing with their figure and posing it and doing all those things in a time that would normally be like a dead area, or they'd be thinking about what they're doing next. They're playing with their toy and posing their character. And getting ready for what their next action was going to be, which I thought was an extra level of involvement in that boss fight is everyone posing and getting ready for what they're going to do next. I thought that was really fun.
Yeah, because to Joe's point, this turn-based system, if all 6 of us are playing Mythic Legion's the role-playing game, Joe's the game master, we're all playing. Tonya, if it's your turn and you're explaining to him, okay, my character is gonna grab my arrow and I'm gonna try to shoot that goblin across the dungeon, the other 4 of us are just waiting to see what happens. We're waiting for our turn. Having this figure in front of you as hand candy and just being able to pose and play. I mean, how often do we take our legions and just mess around with them? You absolutely can do that during the game. In a lot of tabletop role-playing games, all you can do between turns is get some snacks. Now you've got figures and snacks. I mean, that's a winning combination.
That's combination.
That is a winning combination, because I'm like, yeah, I mean, you're sitting there, you're posing, you're doing all this. This is fantastic. This is fantastic.
Can you bring up the question from Collier 1313?
Mm-hmm.
So this question about adding stands, we haven't announced this yet. There's actually brand new stands being developed for Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. Not only will they be used in the game, I mean, heck, you can use them in your display cases. So they're not like our normal big chunky stands. These are going to be a lot more streamlined for use in the game or for your displays. And one of the cool things, part of playtesting at Legions Con was to get feedback. One of the pieces of feedback is people were like, the maps are so cool, but when you have a stand that is opaque, you can't see the map through the stand. It would be great if we have clear stands. So not only will we have stands that have cool textures on them and stuff like that, there's going to be clear stands for the game as well. So it will do exactly what Collier is saying. It will plug into the foot of the figure, prevent the figure from falling over when it's posed on the map, and you'll be able to see the graphics of the map right through it. So it's almost like it's not there.
Okay, guys, we just got another little reveal.
You did.
We haven't even gotten to the reveal yet. Yes. I think I saw up here somewhere somebody said Jeremy needs to take that and where was it? Jeremy needs to take that, make a video, and here it is. The studio needs to put a video like what Jeremy is doing, describing now, and hit all the socials. Well, you just heard it here.
Yeah.
Just send it to all the socials. He's telling us all the good stuff.
I have many videos that I need to make. I mean, including, I don't know, I mean, hopefully we have time tonight. I mean, we're going to be on Kickstarter for this game, which that right there is an interesting decision. Our pre-orders these days are just on Stole Horseman. So the decision to go back to Kickstarter is something that I think is worth talking about as well at some point.
Yeah, and I definitely want to talk about that we are definitely going to get to that, because I think that is a really interesting way to do things, since you started out as a Kickstarter and then this one is going to Kickstarter as well. I did want to bring in Ashlynne here. So at Legions Con, on the way to Legions Con, Kevin and I were talking, and Joe has a group of guys that were playing and doing a stream or whatever, and they were posting it. And Kevin said, well, he didn't, there's no girls playing. And so I was like, yeah, we need to fix that. And so Kevin and I started talking, and Ashlynne and her husband, Harley, we met the very first Legions Con I went to, I guess, 2022, right, Ashlynne? Yeah.
I think, yeah.
And so we've kept up with each other through all of the Legions cons that they have been to. And we had dinner with them on Saturday night, I think, and we're talking about the new D&D role-playing game.
Yep.
And Ashlynne plays D&D
Right.
and has DM'd. So Ashlynne is going to DM a brand new Ladies Legions RPG online live.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, we already use your figures to like just as like a placeholder.
Yeah.
Like I'm a Dragonborn, so I actually have one of your figures, and on my like the first Legions Con that was at the new hotel, which I think was last year, I bought my first ever custom head. I don't have it on me, but I bought my first ever custom head, and they're kind of just like as like a display of like what our figures would look like if they were bigger. Like I play a lot with my kids, and they have one is an elf, so she has one of the elves. You know, it's pretty cool now that they'll be actually able to use the figure that's out in the actual game when we go. So that's going to be really exciting for them.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean that's the whole, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Ashlynne, is, you know, that's why we're developing the game line. But the great thing is we're not creating a new format. They're Legions figures. So the 300 other Mythic Legions figures all work with these as well. And all those custom parts from all the great creators at Legions Con, they work with these as well. So, you know, we're kind of doing this to introduce it to a new community. And we're expecting that if they get into it and they open up the doors, they're going to be like, oh, wait a minute. There's a lot more here that I mean, there's almost limitless possibilities between the existing figures and the custom parts and everything. So you're absolutely on the same page as us there.
So, Joe, William had a question, and I think Joe's a really good person.
This is a great question. This is a great question. Do you find that you need to be an assertive person? Do shy people have trouble getting used to an RPG? So, this RPGs kind of started as a specific for a nerd community. I know it was very much that way when I started. So it was very much people that were not maybe socially accepted at the time. That's the wonderful thing about it, is it's not you. I found that even for myself, you are pretending to be someone else. So you kind of get to pick the way you want your character to be. So even if you're a shy person, you can play a barbarian and be out there yelling, you know, rah, and charging into battle and starting fights in the tavern if that's how you want to play. And it can actually help people that are shy to be more comfortable. You're not with a group of strangers online or something like that. Generally, you're going to be playing with a group that you're familiar with. It's your friends. I think most people that are shy are only shy around people that they don't know. But when you're with a group of people that you know or acclimate to, you'd be surprised how forward and I don't want to say outlandish, but sometimes outlandish if you're playing a bard. You know, you can have a lot of fun being not yourself. And I think that's one of the most wonderful things about role-playing games is it's escapism, but in a positive way. There's no harmful parts to it. So don't listen to any of that bad rep it got in the 80s. That's not true.
You know, I'll add something to what Joe just said there. You know, you'll see some role-playing groups where people do voices and stuff, where they get really into their characters, and they'll all be like, oh, I'm a goblin and I come like this. And if you're going to be shy to really like play act like that, don't worry about it. Most campaigns that I've seen don't start that way. They start with people talking like we're talking, where the game master says, you know, you come to, like I said, a locked door. You know, you can hear a rumbling from the other side of that door, and you sounds like you heard someone scream. What do you want to do? And then your players discussed amongst yourselves, hey, do we have check the door? Is it locked? Yeah, the door is locked. You know, do we have someone that can pick the lock? Can someone cast a spell to detect magic to see if there's something on the other side? You have a conversation of how you want to proceed, and you're having this conversation in your normal voice. You don't have to actually act out the role. There's other people that as they get more comfortable, they get more into the character, and they can choose the level of role playing that they want to do for the game.
Now, I know this says Jeremy, but this is actually a conversation that Ashlynne and I had when we were talking before. What is the max limit number of players allowed to play the RPG to make it fun? And Ashlynne, you said...
So it's not so much like to make it fun, just the more people you add just adds more time to the game, because everyone has a turn and everyone, that just adds more time. So it depends on how long you want to play. Like we played PlayStations with like 7 or 8 of us, but it's like a 5-6 hour long, campaign. And so like depending on how long you want it to be, 4 to 5, I would say, is probably the max if you want a shorter, you know what I mean? Like if you don't want to spend 6 to 7 hours doing a whole thing, because everyone gets a turn, everyone, there's lots that go into every turn as well. Lots of rolling, there's lots that goes into everybody's turn that can make it go longer. That's my thought on it.
I think that's 100% accurate. I ran a game for 8 people when my kids were younger and would play with me. It was myself and 8 people. We would average about 8 hours, on a Sunday of playing, which was fun, but there's a lot of time that people are sitting there not really doing anything, just waiting for their turn. That's going to be another appeal though, like Jeremy said, of having the Mythic Legions part of it is that you can play with your toys while you're waiting for your turn. But
that's what I was just getting ready to say, Joe. At least while you're waiting, you're playing.
Waiting, yeah, you have something to do. Most modules nowadays are 3 to 5 players. The way they're designed, so I'm thinking the community kind of leans towards 3 to 5 players. So if you're playing 2 to 3 hours, 3 to 5 players, everyone's gonna have a relatively short amount of time that they have to wait to be involved in things and stuff like that. So I would 100% agree with that.
And I just got a chuckle out of this. If Ashlynne doesn't wear a fake mustache for the first session, we riot.
but we're all at home, so we'll be rioting in our houses.
Oh my goodness, that was funny.
I did have a question about, being the dungeon master and the game for you, Jeremy. Is there going to be like in some of them, they have like a cheat sheet, like they have like a screen for dungeon masters that has like a cheat sheet of kind of like the rules? Is that something?
Yeah. So apparently I'm going to reveal every SKU that's part of the Kickstarter tonight. Yeah, one of the items that we're going to have is a game master screen. So it will be, you see this in a lot of, visuals of people playing RPGs where the person who's the game master, who they're the storyteller, they're the one who's explaining to the players what they are seeing and what happens based on their decisions. So a lot of times you'll see a large screen in front of them. So all of their materials are hidden away from the other players. And then that screen also provides a platform for them to be able to put all of, your cheat sheets and stuff like that. So yeah, we do have one of those coming. And the artwork that's on it is a brand new piece of artwork that we have commissioned an artist that we've never worked with before this, and it is absolutely insane. It is such an incredible... People are going to buy the GM screen to frame it and put it on their wall as a visual Mythic Legions piece of art. That's how cool it is.
Awesome.
Oh, I can't wait. That is
You
awesome.
get two. You get two. One to
I
play,
get two.
one to frame.
Yes. Need to get two.
One to frame and one to game.
That's right.
There we go.
Woo! Go, Jeremy.
Marketing.
The marketing guy. He takes over.
We have a $4.99 super chat from Jonathan. I'm brand new to RPG, and I would say just dive in. Don't worry about not knowing things. You can learn as you go. I just ask questions. Can I do this?
Yep.
So a quick little story from me. I started role playing when I was 15, and I remember my friend John asking me if I was interested in playing D&D with them, and I was like, Dungeons and Dragons, isn't that game where you worship the devil? And he said, well, you don't have to, but you can if you want. But we started with relatives of some of my friends that were older guys that understood the rules and everything. But the most fun that we had playing the game is when just my group of friends that were all the same age, we were all 15, would get together ourselves and just let our imaginations go wild. And the rules were kind of secondary, and we just kind of picked them up as we went. We had to stop sometimes and go, I'm not sure how that movement works, or if you can take that action. We'd look it up in the player's handbook. This was so long ago, we used to put tabs on the player handbook so we could quick reference rules, that nerd stuff. But that's one of the funnest things, in my opinion, is just getting together with your friends and having fun. You can look up rules as you go, and nowadays with YouTube and stuff like that, there's so much more reference material out there. You can Google a rule for D&D, things like that. So it's not daunting at all, especially compared to what it used to be. I don't think anybody should have any misgivings about just jumping in and giving it a try. It's so much fun and so easy to do.
I mean, I'll also add that the only like non-breakable rule in role-playing games is have fun. Like, the rules are guidelines. They are guidelines to get you up and running, but every role-playing game basically says, hey, these are suggestions, these are guidelines. Like, as you're going, be willing to change things. If something isn't working for your party, you need to adjust a rule to make sure that everyone's having fun, do it. You absolutely can do that throughout the course of the game.
So Jeremy, let's talk Kickstarter real quick, because we definitely want to touch on this. Then we are going to do a giveaway, and then we are going to do a reveal.
Okay.
So Kickstarter first, let's talk about, so you guys talked about doing a Kickstarter again for this to get it more widely known. I mean, what was the thought process behind it?
So for people that don't know what Kickstarter is, it's what they call a crowdfunding platform. And that's just a fancy way of saying it is a platform, a website where people basically go on and say, I want to do this thing. Make a role-playing game, create an action figure line, write a book, make a movie, create, a special funky watch. There's all these creative ideas and innovations. And previously, you would have to develop something and then find like stores to buy it to get it to the public. Kickstarter, the idea was it bridges the gap between the creator and the audience, where the creator says, I want to do this thing, and the community says, I think that's awesome. I want to back you doing that. And in exchange for me backing it, I'm going to get these things. It's a store, like, especially for someone like us that has the history we have. Kickstarter is just a platform for us to offer this for sale. The reason we're doing it on Kickstarter versus just on our website, Store Horseman, because I'll be frank, we have to pay Kickstarter. Like, we have to give Kickstarter money to use their platform. The reason we are doing that is for marketing reach. So many new role-playing games, and there's dozens of new role-playing games that hit Kickstarter every single week. It is an incredibly popular platform for new tabletop RPGs to be discovered. We are using it because that's where the audience we want to talk to is. This is a simple principle of sales and marketing. Go where the customers you want to be in front of are. That is why we are using Kickstarter, because while we know that our fan base would buy the hell out of this thing on our website and we wouldn't have to pay Kickstarter fees, this is not just about our customer base. Like, we want more Legionnaires. We want more people at Legions Con. We want more people experiencing what every one of our Legionnaires already knows, that the Realm of Mythos is a really cool place. So that's why we are going to Kickstarter, because it is a platform where the discoverability of something like this is going to be paramount. And the fact that we are actually having to pay Kickstarter fees to use it, I saw some people say, does that mean the products will be more expensive on Kickstarter? One would think so, but apparently that's not how we work. No, everything on the Kickstarter is going to be cheaper. Like, just like we do pre-orders, we are going to have lower prices on the Kickstarter than they'll be at retail. We are basically considering these Kickstarter fees a marketing expense. That is how we are looking at it. This is what we have to pay to introduce this to a brand new audience. But for all of our fans, you're going to back it on Kickstarter. It's like using a store. One of the cool things is when you buy from Store Horseman, as you know, you have to pay at the time of order. With Kickstarter, you could, back it and select what you want. The first minute it goes live, you don't have to pay until the actual campaign is done. And we're even adding features in there where you can spread your pledge across like 3 months. So it's going to give you a lot of flexibility in terms of how you're going to have to pay for this, but it's going to allow us, hopefully, to get out to a whole new fan base that discovers the game.
That's awesome. Now, I know, in my area, we have several stores that are gaming stores or whatever. So we need to go tell them that is there a way for somebody who wants to carry the RPG retail? Is there a way for them to get in on the Kickstarter part of it, or do they have to wait until after? How does all that going to work?
So 2 things. We will have like a downloadable like press kit type of thing, like something that you can bring, that someone who's so inclined, if they want to bring some literature to their local game shop, their friendly local game shop, they can totally do that. There will be what's called retailer tiers in the Kickstarter. So there's a method in Kickstarter where if you are a retailer, you can basically get approved, and there will be tiers that are only available to approved retailers that'll basically kind of be like wholesale prices for certain items. So somebody who just wants, hey, I just want the beginner box, or I just want the beginner box in this figure, or I just want these figures. You will be able, if gaming is not your thing and you just want figures, you can just buy the figures. I absolutely hope you'll pick up the game as well to give it a shot, but you don't have to. Retailers who are going to want a couple copies of the game, a small assortment of the figures, maybe some of the minis, there will be retailer tiers that they can back to get all of that stuff at a lower price. So, of course, they can make money when they put it on their store shelves.
That's awesome. Ryan asked real quick, will the tiers, and I think you have said that you guys are going to go through and announce it to the community first. Will tiers be announced before the campaign starts, and so we can plan our buy-ins and our budgets?
Absolutely. The goal is we don't just want to launch the campaign and everyone be seeing it for the first time. A couple days before the campaign starts, Eric and I are going to do a live stream, and we're going to go through anything that we haven't revealed up until that point. We'll reveal all of that. We'll talk about the tiers. We'll answer some questions. So hopefully, at least our community, once the campaign starts, they kind of have a plan to go in and know what they want, because so many of our fans, they wait until the final weekend of a pre-order to place their order. Totally get that. Again, you pay up front. With Kickstarter, because you don't pay up front, we actually want people to back it right away, because the quicker that we not only meet our funding goal, but the more interest that Kickstarter sees on the campaign early on, the more they will promote it. So Kickstarter gets paid a percentage of our sales. It behooves them to draw attention to things that are doing really, really well. A Kickstarter that makes $1,000 is not going to make them the same amount of money that a Kickstarter that makes $1 million. So if they see a lot of interest, Kickstarter says, hey, we want to feature that on our homepage. We want to make that a project we love. All of that promotional stuff that Kickstarter gives the campaign, because they have a financial incentive to do so, that means more eyeballs on the campaign. It's a snowball effect where success breeds more success. So we are coming into this. Most, new tabletop games, they don't have the community of Legionnaires we do. If our Legionnaires hit this early and hit this hard and make those pledges, they don't pay until the end of the campaign, which is over a month away. But it is going to benefit the campaign and the company as a whole, because right out of the gate, Kickstarter is going to see all that attention on the project.
Okay, wait. Everybody stop.
Mm-hmm.
Do not do anything for the first hour so that I can get my Paladin Cleric. Then hit it hard.
I will say this. Everyone's
Don't take that away from me.
I will say this, Tonya. A lot of people are concerned about the Paladin Cleric. We don't have 100 of them to sell. There's a considerable amount more than that.
Okay, good.
It will be part of a pledge tier. If you get in there in that first day, I do not expect that it is going to be hard to choose a pledge tier that includes one of those paladins.
Yeah. Well, I can already tell you that I'm getting that first.
Okay.
It is a great figure to have in hand.
Yeah. I've been waiting. I am patient
Beautiful.
to a point. Nobody better take that away from me. Jordan did ask, what is the estimated date of delivery? And Jordan, we didn't talk about the 2026 touring figure yet.
So one of the nice things about the game is a lot of times Kickstarters, the reason creators need to raise money is they need the money to pay for the development of the game. The game is fully developed, right? All the minis are sculpted, all the figures are ready, all the game is written, the page layouts are being done now. So it was important to us to have the game finished so people understand that you're not paying for the development of the game. You're just ordering the stuff that we're going to produce. That's pretty much what it is. Our goal is to have the game materials and the figures in fans' hands before the end of 2026.
Wow.
Yay! So exciting. Amber, it looks like we have a super chat.
We sure do. Rob Zamora, $4.99. I have a serious questions for Jeremy. Did you meet Joe Manganiello's dog Bibbles?
It's Bubbles, and yes, I did meet
Oh.
Bubbles.
I'm
Yes,
sorry,
I did.
Bubbles, not Bubbles.
I did meet Bubbles.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah, I'm so excited to get it before the end of 2026. I know that to have it in hand, to be able to do all the things, and of course going in with Ashlynne and making plans and being able to put something in motion to know, hey, we're getting this, we're going to start it then. All the goodness is coming from that. So that makes me so happy. Yay. I think we've answered all the questions I had. Anything else on the Kickstarter that you just definitely, or anybody else have any questions about the Kickstarter for Jeremy?
I just want to see this new figure.
Sorry. Let's do
I don't
a
know, but I'm
giveaway.
gonna buy everything. I'm an all-in tier sight and
Yeah.
food. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go. All right, Amber, let's do this giveaway first, and then we are going to give it over to Jeremy to bring us home with something so special, and I cannot wait to see what it is.
I just want to say there's only 63 entries, right? And there's like 114 people watching.
Okay, guys,
Get your
hashtag
entries in.
CarverCon 2026. We are getting a staff from Brian and Stacey. Give you about another 30 seconds to get that in. We definitely and again, Jeremy said it is fortuitous that we are giving away a staff.
It's very appropriate.
Very appropriate tonight.
Yes.
Giving away a staff from Carver Customs. Brian, giving you another just 10 or 15 seconds. And then Amber is going to roll because people are here to see something awesome.
3, 2, 1, roll it down. Ooh, I love this part.
Who is it? Who is it? Who is it?
Dave!
Dave Larkin!
Hey, all right.
Dave.
I'm pretty
Dave,
sure we
that's
already have that
awesome.
address too.
Oh, good.
Congratulations.
Yay, Dave!
Dave, we will have Brian and Stacey send that out to you. Congratulations. That is awesome. All right, Jeremy.
Okay, so let's see. It says I can share screen. So let me make sure that I can do that.
And I'm going to add it to the stage.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Now I've got to do this. It's not. Oh, I showed it. I didn't even mean to do. I meant to start here and then go to here and show there. But my screen is acting a little funny right now, so you've actually seen it there. So everyone can see the graphic, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's look. So this is another one of the base player figures. This is the wizard. So the core 4 figures, you know, what we said is the beginner box. There's a number of professions that you can play in this game. The beginner box is going to come with 4 of them. Like there's going to be 4 that are covered in those basic rules because they're pared down. The cleric is one. The rogue is another. So we got the cleric and the rogue already. And the wizard is another one of those base kind of player core 4 professions. So for this particular figure, this is our wizard. And I know when people saw that silhouette, they probably assumed it was just that female kind of hooded head that we have used before. But this is a brand new head that is in there. I've done customs like this before that have the hair kind of coming out of the hood. So I love the fact that we did that. Eric did that in the sculpture here. It's a brand new head. It's actually a brand new skirt and loin piece, like the paladin or the cleric. Those are sculpted pieces. Those are not soft goods. And it does actually have brand new lower arms as well. Those are different leather gloves than the other 2.0 gloves that we've gotten in the past. So actually quite a few new pieces on this particular figure. You can see a little bit of the turns here as we go around. The figure itself, you know, one of the things we've we've always talked about how inclusion is very important to us as a company. It's very important to the realm of mythos and to mythic legions. And it's certainly very important to role-playing games. So this is a character here that, she's sculpted to have, kind of like more Asian style features. We wanted to make sure that there's a lot of representation throughout this. This is only the first wave, so there's only so many that we can get in. Of course, there's a lot of representation if you look across the 300 figures in the main Mythic Legions line. But this is another kind of character that we haven't been able to do yet, that we were excited to be able to do for this figure and this wave. And this is, the loadout. The loadout is very basic. Once again, that's the point of these, is the way that we're getting to that $29.99 price point is by really making it just the essential parts. So she's got the removable belt at her waist. She's got that magic staff. She's got the 2 pairs of hands and the removable shoulder armor. And then, of course, this will be a base player figure that there will also be a corresponding character pack for. And while I'm not showing the character pack today, I will tease it and say that the character pack on this base body is my favorite build of all of the Mythic Legions RPG figures that are part of Wave 1.
Wow. That is amazing. So somebody over in the comments, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to go back and find it because I am just glued to my screen looking at her because she's so gorgeous, said that it looks like soft goods. I mean, like,
it does.
It is painted to look so much like soft goods. It is crazy.
Yeah, the textures, the sculptural textures that Eric has in there are really, really nice. So much nicer than, as I said, the very flat, kind of fabric loin pieces that we had in the early days of the line. It really does mimic what we see in soft goods in terms of, the feel of the fabrics, but as a sculpted piece.
So what do you guys think, Amber?
Oh my goodness, my microphone thing. I love it. That is beautiful from head to toe.
She is gorgeous. Stacey?
Yes, beautiful. I can't wait.
I love the hair.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love how the hair comes out from the hood.
Yes.
Makes me wish I had hair.
Yeah.
Hey, me too, Amber. Me too.
Joe, what do you think of the new one?
Well, what I think is really fun with this is that she's a wizard. So once she gets a decent amount of levels, this Legion lady right here is going to be one of the most powerful player characters that you're going to have in your group. She's going to have amazing utility. She's going to be able to cast fireballs and lightning bolts and cloud kills. And she is a beautiful figure and probably one of the most destructive characters that you'll have in your party. And I think that's just an amazing combination. I really, really like this. Don't get me wrong. I like old men with beards as wizards also. I feel a connection to them, but this is wonderful.
And that's a good point, Joe. I saw a comment when someone saw the silhouette and they realized that the magic user wizard style character was not going to be that, stereotypical kind of Gandalf type look. It's a reminder that this is just the first wave. We can't cover every kind of character with that first wave. I've also seen some people hopefully wishing for very exotic type characters. That's also something in the first wave that we kind of had to avoid. We love, God, look at the Mythic Legions line. We just released a giant crab monster, right? Yeah. We don't shy away from the weird and the exotic, but this wave is very much, the mentality of it is very similar to the first wave of Mythic Legions as a whole, where really starting with some of those characters, those tropes, those professions and character types that fantasy fans would come to expect. That's really how we have to start this out. So we fully hope that this is popular enough that we can add all of the exotic types of characters, including things that we've created uniquely for Mythic Legions. We want to add all of that to the game and to the game figures, but to get there, we've kind of got to start with these basics.
And those of us that are already collectors of the line, you can use existing figures as your players' characters.
For sure.
You know, there's no limitation on the things that you have becoming your characters. So.
Not at all. And the core rule book, I mentioned that the core 4 professions that are in the beginner box, the core rule book expands on all of that. So there's a lot of other professions. There's a lot of other species. One of the cool things about this game is it's not just, I can play as a human, an elf, or a dwarf. In Mythic Legions, you can play as a Jaguarian. You can play as a vampire. You can play as a skeleton. Like, skeleton is not typically a playable character in most role-playing games. You absolutely can play as a skeleton in Mythic Legions, the role-playing game.
And we got to play test it a little bit, and of course I signed an NDA, so I won't say too much, but I'll say that one of the players was a skeleton, Jesse Arnold, and it was super fun.
Yeah.
Just some things that you wouldn't think about, like going into a town and to a tavern when you have a skeleton in the party. He ended up carving a wooden mask that looked like a face.
Yep.
But everyone could tell it was a wooden mask. It allows to some very enjoyable moments, that the characters had to figure out how they were going to handle some situations. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. Ashlynne, what do you think about this one, hon?
It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have Harley DM so that I can play as her in our own house. But she's absolutely gorgeous. Now I want a hood like that. So
yeah, she is amazing. Jeremy, I'm flabbergasted at how amazing. I love the new sculpt in the face. I love the hair coming out of that that hood like that. I just think that is just looks so freaking good.
Knocked it out of the park.
And again, to tease the character pack, I mean, between character packs and other add-on packs and things that we have here, this is just the start. Like, yes, all of the existing Legions parts work with this figure. You can go into your fodder box of weapons to totally, kit her out and everything. But forgetting about all of that, even if you're new to Mythic Legions, the SKUs, the items that are available as part of this game are going to give you lots of different options. Even just with what's available in Wave 1, you will be able to add different items to this character or any of the characters to get it to kind of your preferred look for your player.
And now Sherry painted. I'm just going out on a limb and saying Sherry painted this one. Is that right?
Yep. As usual, Sherry gets the female characters, so Sherry painted this character, and she doesn't have a name. That's one of the things. The beginner box will come with pre-generated character sheets, so she's one of the pre-generated characters that will be in the beginner box. So she will have a name on that character sheet, but it's just what we're throwing out there. She's not being created. This is not like, Faustia or Hadriana or any of our named characters. She has been created basically as a blank slate for players to do what they want with, whether they use the pre-generated sheet or whether they're just like, I totally dig the look, but I'm going to go in a slightly different direction with it. You could make this a cleric. I mean, this doesn't have to be a wizard. This could absolutely be a different kind of profession in the game. all that flexibility is there for you to use these parts how you see fit.
Yeah. Jesse, he said earlier that it was sculpted with a texture in it. That Eric sculpted those to have that texture in it. So
it's similar to the cleric that we see here, the torso and lower skirt and loin piece on that red cleric. Those are all sculpted pieces, brand new sculpted pieces. There are no soft goods on that figure. There are no soft goods on this new wizard as well.
Oh, Jeremy, she is gorgeous. I'm so excited. All right. So you guys still have yet to reveal the fourth figure there.
Yes. So we haven't revealed the fourth figure, nor we've only revealed one of the character packs. So there's 4 character packs because there's 4 player figures. And there's plenty of other stuff we haven't revealed.
Okay. Are you guys going to reveal the minis as well before the Kickstarter start? Is there anything that I guess the question would be, are there things that you're not going to reveal until the Kickstarter starts?
Yeah, the stretch goals.
Okay. Gotcha. So those will be revealed in the Kickstarter. Now, are you guys going to reveal those like when the Kickstarter starts, or are you going to reveal those as we get close to hitting those stretch goals?
The question you want to ask is, will the stretch goals be ready to show by the time the Kickstarter starts? And the answer is, I don't know.
Oh, wow.
So that will depend on whether we show them at the start of the Kickstarter or we just show the plateaus.
Gotcha.
You asked about minis. There will, as I said, the idea with the game is that, you can play with minis, you can play with standees. There's lots of different ways that you can play. But one of the things that we wanted right from the beginning is we want consistency across the product line. So we just saw that fully posable wizard action figure. There is a mini of that figure and there is a standee of that figure as well. So if you're playing that character, if that's your representation, that carries through all of the different SKUs for this particular character. So if you're playing and your small token is the little standee, you can use the figure for that mythic encounter. Or if you prefer to use a mini instead of using the little standee, they're like acrylic standees, you can do that as well. It's really flexible in terms of how you want to play, but across these different products, you're going to see the same character designs used.
Wow. Now, somebody did ask in the earlier, and I don't have it starred to bring it up, but they ask if the if these were going, if they were like, if you guys were going to do dice to match the ones that you've already given out.
That was Nate Strong, and he asked like 3 times. So I think he's really curious.
So I don't know that we're doing dice sets to match those. There will be dice sets, but I don't know. Like the yellow one was literally done because that debuted at San Diego Comic-Con. So that used the San Diego Comic-Con colors. So I don't know that we're doing full sets to match those, but that's actually a great question. I will ask my guy, Len, because Len, who is the project manager on Mythic Legions, the role-playing game, is the one who handles all of that type of stuff with all of those game-type items like dice and coins and cool things like that.
Pencils. I'm really looking forward to getting a Mythic Legions pencil.
Yeah, after seeing the pictures of the pencils, I can't wait to get those in either. Amber, I think we have a
$9.99 super chat from Rob Zamora. Will the Kickstarter be the only way to purchase all these figures, Or will they be available later down the line or at a con? Or once the Kickstarter is over, then is that it?
No, they'll be available down the line and stuff. They'll be more expensive down the line. The Kickstarter will certainly have better overall prices, especially if you're getting the combos that have lots of different things. But the only thing that we do not have coming down the line is that deluxe heroic paladin cleric. The one that we had at San Diego, those are already produced. So those are a limited amount because we actually already have them produced and in the warehouse. Everything else in the game is being produced based on the pre-order numbers, and we are producing more. You know, this isn't a one and done for us. Like, we're not doing this campaign and releasing these game materials and then saying, well, that's it for Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. We already have additional adventures planned, additional, extra items like more dice and everything. We have 2 additional waves of RPG figures already designed. So we are putting commitment behind this. If the support is there, we are going to see this thing grow. So as part of that, when fans get introduced to this at game shows and toy shows and so forth, we're going to want to have these assortments available. So they will be available after the fact for people that want extras and so forth.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Oh my goodness.
So earlier, Cloud asked a question I just want to give a little bit of a teaser for, because in the Mythic Legions RPG display that you brought up the picture for, she asked about a Varg being in there. When I was running my session at Legions Con, there was a Varg monster card that was part of that session. So
yeah, I mean, that's not really like a teaser or a secret. Varg, the cool thing about the Varg is that's one of our unique characters, one of our unique monsters. One of the things that we have to explain to seasoned gamers is, why do you want to pick up yet another tabletop RPG? Like, what if it's good? If this is exactly the same as Dungeons and Dragons, I'm already playing Dungeons and Dragons. I've already invested in all those materials. Why am I going to pick yours up? And, beyond the fact of our unique story and everything, that's one of the things we have to do is add game elements that are unique to Mythic Legions, the role-playing game. One of the things we can do is our monsters. You cannot fight a Varg in any other role-playing game because we created it. You cannot fight a Boggoblin in other games because we created it. So when we put that Varg card together, when we had it on display, it was very specifically because Vargs are in the game, because they are unique to us. So they were specifically one of the monsters we wanted to start with right from the get-go.
I thought that was a good question. So
yeah, here are the
those pencils.
So much more popular than we expected. Oh my goodness, were those popular.
As an old school nerd, I appreciate number 2 pencils. So having them decked out with my favorite toy lines graphic is just exciting.
Yep.
Wanted to get confirmation, $29.99 is the Kickstarter pricing, but it will be the retail price or close to. So I guess he's talking about the figures. This is Jeff Evans.
The figures,
the figures are $29.99.
Mm-hmm.
But that will not be the retail price.
No, they'll be more expensive. They'll probably be $35 at retail. I mean, obviously retailers can charge whatever they want for them. But the MSRP is going to probably be $35 for those figures.
And this has been one of my favorite questions so far. Can we use Baethir?
If you want to end your campaign, yes.
Yes. Sure. I mean, I don't know that he's going to be statted up to start with, but
if you want everybody to die really quickly, yes, use Baethir. goodness, that's funny. Jeremy, Joe, Ashlynne, thank you guys so
Thank you.
much for coming
Yeah.
on and talking RPG. I know, again, I'm complete newbie, super toddler when it comes to all of this stuff. So I'm just looking forward to getting in and being a part of something that is new to me that I think is going to be fantastic. Stacey, you were saying that you wanted to play as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because we've been playing as a family. We've been playing Hero Quest.
Yeah.
Which I don't. I mean, I've never done D&D, but I feel like Hero Quest is kind of similar.
Sure. It's good.
Very much.
So yeah,
so.
but we've been playing as a family, and it's a lot of fun, and so I can't wait to do this as a family as well.
And Amber, are you looking forward to joining in on some of the games as well?
Oh, absolutely.
So Amber, have you played D&D before?
No,
Oh, okay. All right.
I've always wanted to, but never did.
Jeremy, you're bringing us all in.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've said before that, this is going to be a way to hopefully introduce our world to a whole new audience. But I mean, for the wonderful audience that we already have, this is going to be a whole new way for you to experience the realm of mythos. Like I'll say this, we have a very fleshed out story for Mythic Legions. All of the materials that are being written for the game, they're not being written like in a vacuum outside of all the other lore. Like, I review everything. Eric reviews everything. And we make sure that it's consistent. I mean, we will routinely say things like, no, that character can't do this because of this that happens down the line. Like deep cut style stuff, we're making sure that as much as possible, there's lore consistency through all of this. So, from that aspect, this is just going to be a great way to further immerse yourself in these characters and these stories.
And I don't have a photo of it, but one of the really cool things, and I know you talked about it on your show before, you were talking about the new Leodicius coin that you have coming out, part of this RPG as well. So you guys have even went further into the story and the lore to flesh it out for the role-playing game.
Yeah, I mean, there was a show that I talked about a while ago where I showed the calendar of mythos. Like, that's another example where early on it was like, hey, what are the days of the week in mythos? What are the months of the year? What are the seasons? And I was like, that's never come up in making toys or writing little bios on packages or even in writing the book. It's just that type of deep cut world building has never been things that we've had to address. Those are things we've had to address here. Joe, you'll appreciate an early conversation where Cameron says, how does magic work in mythos? Like, that's a legit question where It's like, we just create magic users and they have spells and stuff, but where does it originate from? Like, what is the heart of magic? So we've had to answer all those questions. The coinage, what is the currency of the realm? And that type of stuff. I mean, that is world building. That type of stuff absolutely fleshes itself out. And of course, with the coin specifically, the minute that we design coins, then we're all like, I want a pouch of those. Like, I want a coin pouch with all of those coins of the realm in it. So clearly we're like, yeah, we can make that. The factory that's going to be doing the game materials for us, obviously our figure factories are doing the figures, but a lot of the game materials, we've partnered with a factory that specializes in this type of stuff, and their capabilities are incredible. The amount of stuff that they can produce, we have thrown so many ideas at them and they do not blink. They're like, yep, no problem. This is what it is. So
There's going to be so many rogue characters with a toothpick that flip that coin as part of their methodology for role playing that rogue. I can't wait.
there you go.
Yeah, I want a pouch of all the coins as well. I'm in like Flint. I want that bad. So I know Leodicius is the one that you guys have put out so far, and I cannot wait to see what is coming on the horizon. Like I'm so excited with this. I think, when I first got into Legions, when I first saw Artemis on Alder and fell in love with Legions and all things for Horsemen, I've not been as excited as I am right now for any of the other things that I am so excited for this release. Like, this is one that I cannot wait for.
Me too. And for everyone who's going to the upcoming slate of shows, ZoloCon, MesquiCon, Toylanta, all of these materials, all of these figures and so forth will be on display at the actual shows. So don't wait for those shows to back the Kickstarter day one, but you can see all of that stuff at those shows.
Now, Kickstarter is going to run end of February to April, 1st of April?
It's not the 1st of April, but it's early April.
Early April. Okay. And then not the first day of April, but in the first bit of April.
Yes. It's early. We're going to announce all of the dates, but you will have over a month. The campaign will run over a month for you to get in there and make your pledge. And that's the thing too, I should point out with Kickstarter, unlike a store where once you place an order, your order is in, you can alter your pledge in Kickstarter. So if you decide, okay, I want to pledge for this item and I'm going to add all these other items on, you're going to have a certain total that it's your pledge. The word pledge is what Kickstarter uses. It's what's in your shopping cart. It's the total of all the stuff you've put in your shopping cart. The pledge is just the first item you put in your cart. And then you say, what other items do you want to put in your cart? They call it add-ons. You add all that stuff in. Well, if we hit a stretch goal and we unlock something and you're like, well, now I want to add $100 more because I want to get 2 of those. You can just go into your pledge manager and change the number to $100 more. It's super easy to manage that in Kickstarter. It seems really daunting. It is not really daunting. Once you start using it, they've made a science of making this easy for you to do. So you can back, you can change, you can adjust right up until the end of the campaign.
Okay. And so, Jeremy, you will be at ZoloCon.
I will.
You will be at Toylanta, and you will be at MesquiCon, all 3.
I will be at all 3. There is not 1 week in the month of March where I'm home all 7 days. I am traveling every single week throughout all of March. I'm somewhere the entire month.
Gotcha. Okay. And then you will still, you'll still be doing your show. You guys are going to announce the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
You and Eric are going to announce the Kickstarter.
Yep. So
Okay.
I'll be in the coming week. We will be finalizing dates and everything and letting people know when we're going to do all the reveals, when the Kickstarter is going to start. All of that information is coming out as we finalize everything. Kickstarter is a little bit different than just our store, where our store, we just decide when we're going to do it and we put it up. There's actually an approval process with Kickstarter. So we have to submit materials. We have to get everything approved. So we don't want to show our hand until we know that's what we're going to do. I will be doing my show, hopefully most of March. It will depend on my travel plans, but I will do it as much as possible because it's going to be a busy month and I'm going to want to be talking to everybody.
Yes. And we're going to want to hear all about it. Also, Curtis has already started getting together the final 24 hours of the Kickstarter. We're going to have all the shows for the final 24 hours as a final push for the Kickstarter. So super excited about that as well.
Yep.
I know Curtis is planning on doing all 24 hours. Joe, are you planning on being
Yes, ma'am.
on for a
I will be
long
there
time?
for the whole 24 hours. I only missed like 2 hours of the dragon one. I just I ran out of gas. I had to take a nap, but it was like
Right.
2 or 3 hours. But I'll be there for the whole 24. I'm actually taking a day off of work just to make sure that I don't have to miss any of it. So pumped for this.
Oh, we can't wait.
It's going to be a blast.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward-
And I would like to make a plug for Arkan also. For those of you who are here that are interested in the RPG,
Yep.
there are stats that exist for Arkan the Cruel that because Mythic Legion's RPG is based off of the OGL open game license, they will be compatible with Mythic Legion's RPG. So get yourself an Arkan the Cruel figure and he can be a part of your home games in the Mythic Legion's RPG. That is 100% something you can do. So buy more figures because I want them all. I want the whole Dark Order. Help me out. Buy figures.
All right. And Stacey, we are on for Mod Squad this weekend. Is that right?
Yep. I'll be
Okay.
running a little late, but I will be there.
Okay. And then Amber, we will be back on in 2 weeks with a fantastic guest that I am so excited to talk to. We are going to confirm that, and then Kevin will get our thumbnail up and ready to go, and we'll announce who that's going to be. But I am excited for that one too. I haven't spoken to him and interviewed him yet, and I have so many questions. Joe, you guys have Off-World this weekend, this Friday.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
Off-World every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. We're pretty consistent with that one.
And do you have any other shows you're going to be on?
So on the Let's Go Off-World channel, we do a little show called Allegiance Quest. There's quite a few episodes up already, but it is myself, Curtis, Jesse Arnold, Nate Strong, Trevor 1-6 Shooter, and now Bill Dranowski Dorklear has joined us. That is our regular D&D game. It was an unofficial RPG based on Mythic Legions because we love Mythic Legions. When the game releases, it will become official that we're playing the Mythic Legions RPG, but it's something fun. Most of those guys weren't really familiar with role playing. Jesse had some experience, but if you'd like to get kind of a primer, it's great because they are learning to play the game, and you can see through the first 10 episodes, we play the game. They ask questions. We learn on the fly. It's I think an interesting way to kind of get into the game. So if you're interested, check out Allegiance Quest on YouTube on the Let's Go Off-World podcast channel. Okay. Which is not my channel, so I'm not saying this for me. I really want you guys just to watch it for fun.
All right. And then Ashlynne, you and I will be talking, and everybody get to know Ashlynne really well because she is going to be an integral part of the Ladies Legions RPG. And we are super excited to nail down all of the facts for that and get it posted for the ladies, but we are so excited to start that with Ashlynne. And Ashlynne, we want to thank you so much for taking that on.
I'm very excited.
It's gonna be fun. All right, Jeremy, we have kept you past time. We appreciate you guys being here again.
Thank you.
We're so excited for the RPG, you guys. Arkan the Cruel until the 22nd, and Oksana the Inquisitor until the 22nd, and then here comes the RPG. You guys get ready. Let's go.
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us. Those that see it afterwards, I hope you enjoy seeing. And I cannot wait to get the new figure. Thank you, Jeremy, for introducing her here.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Bye, everybody.